Welcome back to our build guide series. And in this series, we get a look at all builds, also the combinations with every weapon to give you a breakdown on what can be best for you and your playstyle. So let's get into it. Hope you guys enjoy. It's going down. Today's breakdown, we're going to be diving into the one and the only Bulletstorm. Okay, there's multiple versions of this weapon for each class, which regardless of the character or weapon type you want, pretty much a version for it. And it's super important to understand that this thing can do some special stuff, especially right now with the burn being the best affliction, the most damage you can do. And we want to get into it and showcase what it can do. Before we do, I want to just talk about the stats and give you guys a rundown. This has 360 for rapid fire. That is amazing. The mag is 16. So you're going to be able to really pop off and get a lot of shots off very quick. It reloads extremely fast. And when you have the mastered version, which I do, I'm not showcasing it yet because I wanted to give you guys a breakdown. This thing is amazing. The main thing we want to focus on is the actual talent. In this game, when I do these videos, these are recommendations, but you can change things and really create amazing builds. And so while this is a burn build here, synergizing it with other aspects on your build will really enhance it. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But in this case, it has a black mass mark. When you mark 3 enemies within 9 seconds, they all do an explosion and burn themselves and nearby enemies. Okay, this is very important because that means your weapon will multiply its damage. So if I just hit this guy doing 3,000, that's nothing. That's a normal and, you know, a decent number. Getting some decent shots, and it's taken a while here. I wanted to do it very slow so you could see some body shots, some headshots. Now, what you want to know is when I pull out the master version that I have on Deadshot here, this one has twice as much damage. The DPS goes from 1,400 to 2,400, and it's just unbelievable. I also put the right augments on this: extra critical hit, extra sniper damage, and extra burning enemy damage. So when I shoot this guy, I should be able to do a solid amount of extra damage. Look at that, 6,000 compared to the 3. 8,000, and remember that this stacks up every time you shoot someone. So very great stuff. And we want to talk about the rapid fire. I'm going to shoot everybody and put them all on fire right now, and basically this is going to add multiple damage at the same time, and they'll die in seconds. And this is what makes this weapon and the affliction so powerful. Note that I do have the builds geared towards burning, and it is important that you do the same in your own setup. Okay, as you can see, I could just rapid fire and they'll go down. Okay, solid stuff here. Absolutely love it. Now we're going to take a moment and switch over to Shark because, as I said, every character has the Bulletstorm, but in different versions. In this case, he has a heavy weapon that he can utilize, mark the enemies the same way, and do everything he needs to do. Now, what you have to remember is that this is a powerful tool on its own, right? If I wanted to take down these guys, I'll gladly do so and just set them up for lays and it'll be done. But what I want to try to teach is how to synergize with a secondary weapon and combine it in the right way. So one of the main ways I like to do it is having this talent here on my secondary. It doesn't matter which weapon you have. I like to do it with the heavy if I'm using Shark, because 2 heavies, you know, a lot of spray, and you could really do some work. So basically, successive shots with this weapon will cause 15% extra damage from all sources, and that stacks up to a max of 750. Okay, so you're going to be able to do multiple damage. So if you have a big guy, put this on. So the way it would work is you spray everybody, and then you start hitting successive shots, and the person will go down faster because they're getting multiplied damage. Okay, that's the general setup for this. Okay, and that's where Bulletstorm is powerful. And the normal way that I usually play this, I tend to look for a rifle that has this talent right here that says enemies killed by this firearm while afflicted explode and cause affliction to all enemies nearby. And what that does, it just basically makes it so that after I burn someone, we're going to really change the game and make it special for the overall setup. When someone goes down, they'll explode and it will continue to do so. So this is just a general breakdown on some of that stuff. And I wanted to kind of showcase that you can have anything with the Bulletstorm. So right now we're going to use the pistol from Harley Quinn. So in here, even though this isn't going to be the best option, Harley Quinn's skills, this is where you want to figure yourself out. In here, she'll have specific things that would gear towards her pistol, and that will enhance your single fire DPS. So she can be a very powerful DPS player, which I'm not going to put that on right now. But the point is, you can still mark enemies, you can still burn them and cause this if you wanted to play that way, depending on your playstyle. You know, the heavy weapon helps you spray faster, but this will help you do more damage. So depending on the type of build you put on, you see she's destroying people here very quickly with the same Bulletstorm, but just the pistol version, and Harley shooting, and she's already causing explosions. And so that's what you want to understand and know that these things are pretty awesome regardless of which character you select. Makes it fun and interesting and very different. And this is where, you know, me trying to teach the breakdowns on all of this so that you guys can have some fun and then enjoy, you know, the experience. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the master version of the weapon and get into a couple of quick things. I want you to just look at the stats, understand that not every weapon will have similar numbers. Okay, some people will get god rolls maxed out. For example, burn damage to enemies is at 47. You can get that up to 50. I got it as close as possible and I said, hey, this is good. Okay, game's only been out a little bit and I'll still grind and get the master rolls. I can overhaul this multiple times and do that type of thing. But today is mostly just teaching you how to synergize and set things up. So now that I know I have a primary, I want a secondary that can complement that in whatever way, which I just showcased here by pulling this assault rifle out that causes more affliction damage to enemies nearby, right? And I'm going to do that with the melee weapon and my grenade, okay? And my grenade is a Bane. It gives me 50% extra burn. That's all I put on it. I didn't even put on the whole set, just one piece because I wanted that extra. And you can do the same with other pieces, just like this. This one right here is very critical for any type of status effect that's causing damage, right? This one is an awesome one. You deal 4% more damage to enemies for each 1% of their health that is missing. So they're going to keep losing health. You're going to keep adding damage to them, okay? And it's just small little details like that that are going to change the way you play and make things better for you. Of course, these skills as well when it comes to the talents, putting on the complementary pieces, and we won't go through that because this will be a very long video. And last but not least, like I told you guys, your skill trees, once you start getting high numbers, I'm at 120 right now, and once I start pumping up things like burn, I'm gonna do way more damage. Or if I put on grunts and brutes, way more damage. And then last but not least, these right down here, Flash and Batman infused enemies, that would be very good for this specific playstyle. Super cool. And of course, critical hits, and then whatever weapon I'm using, putting that on. And so this is kind of the general breakdown when it comes to this. And the idea here that I want to share is that you want to complement your playstyle with these other aspects that go together and make it work. Okay, the gun's very powerful. Again, I could rapid fire this thing and just melt through these guys easily in one clip. I took down 3 guys very quickly without even trying to headshot, just shooting and you can see it even not even a full clip, and I'll finish them off. So you can come in here, kind of test out your weapons and see what you like and test out what afflictions are working right for you, and then adjust it as best as possible. That's the key to this. Now, just so you guys know, we have a lot of breakdowns, and this is just the start of the series. So if you're watching this and you want more, leave a like. I need at least 1,000 likes to continue building the best series possible in the game when it comes to all of these builds and testing. All right, see you on the next one. Should be popping up on the screen right now.